Well, Coach, the seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the Detroit Lions. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line.
Here we go. Texans take over first and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
This is it. 19. 24.
On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. And what they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Check three.
On 2nd down, here's Miller. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
24.
They'll run on first down. It's Miller. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Pretty solid run here on first down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's 2nd and inches.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. Watson with a give to Miller, and he gets it down to the 32. 2 yards, good enough for a first. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Check hot route. Hot. Hey, 59.
They keep it with Miller on first down. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Credit the tackle that time to Deshaun Hand. Nice job there defensively to clamp down, because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They'll try the air now with Watson. He's got Fuller. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller with touchdown number 7 on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Looking sharp on that first drive. These guys, of course, coming off back-to-back victories. And you see that kind of advancing into this game, don't you?
You certainly do. And when you have a team that doesn't get too full of itself, even though they've won 2 games in a row, you get the end result that we saw there, that nice opening drive, because they're sharp, they're focused, and they're locked into everything that they're doing.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 21. A shotgun snap for Stafford. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. So 2nd in inches after that first down completion. We're just shy of the marker. A first carry now. This is Johnson. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A gain of 13. It's a first down. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on first down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Robert Quinn able to record his 5th sack of the season. Partner, we had their game last week where they had 6 sacks, so a little bit more momentum here again in the first quarter.
And last week it appeared that they were coming out of sprinters blocks, chasing the quarterback. So how do they continue that? How do they keep making it happen? Different looks, different disguises, different angles that they chase it.
They were so disruptive last week. We'll see what the trend is here as we go forward. Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And give him 9 yards on the 2nd down screen play. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up a touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll get it out to midfield. Let's say, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. A big hitter there from deep in their own territory. 43 yards on the ground. So the line of scrimmage all the way up to midfield now as they've got it 1st and 10.
No time now.
From the 50, it's Watson. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Texans football to start quarter 2 as they've got it with a 2nd down coming up. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down.
Watch the motion. Mike eight. I'm scared. Mike eight. You can't block me. You can't block me. Mike eight. Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
Watson now to throw. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. A gain there of 30 big ones. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around to make a play in the football.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Ashawn Robinson coming out of the University of Alabama. A big, physical, intimidating force who had to learn to play with more leverage. Otherwise, he was going to get blown off the ball in the NFL. Looks like he's learning his lessons after that play.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Now it's Miller. And for a second straight play, the Lion defense drops him behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Flush to his right. And able to find Conley. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. They'll try to punch it in with Miller. And this is not going to do it as he's stopped at the 2-yard line. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. Another shot here from the 2 as they come up on 3rd and goal. Here's Miller. And boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on 4th and goal. A field goal would make it a 2-score game, but they're going to go aggressive. They're going to try this thing on 4th and goal. Here's Watson on the sneak, and he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Deshaun Watson with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Texans push further out in front. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And it's now 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter, you get points on the board. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. Out of the gun, Stafford. He finds his man Johnson. And they do finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 41. A big play there for Detroit. 44 yards.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Not today. Check, 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 check.
Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Stafford. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 20-yard line.
That's another Detroit Lions 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Waiting. Check 53. I know he ain't got it.
In the red zone now, Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. 2 minutes to play, 1st half. It's 14-0. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
3rd down and 7.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
From the gun, here's Stafford. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Mills.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They begin with a run by Miller, and he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. From the gun, here's Watson. Thomas has got it, complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. More problems here on third down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on third down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. You're under 30 seconds to go. Field position not great. Time to call it a half, wouldn't you say?
Well, you know we all have that little extra gene that says let's push the envelope a little bit, right? What needs to be going through the play caller's mind right now, a potential fumbled snap that can get returned, a strip sack that can get returned, right? Any of those types of plays, that should be a deterrent to calling something that could get you in big trouble.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. He gets this one to Johnson. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
It's a gain of 25 yards on the play. That's another Detroit Lions first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Stafford. James has got it. Complete. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. And now a timeout defensively after that 1st down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the left hash, this from 46. And this one is right down Broadway. And that will do it for this first half. So we're at halftime here in the annual Thanksgiving game in Detroit as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They run from the shotgun with Washington. Jalen Mills in on the stop.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
On 2nd down, it's Johnson. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 49.
It's just me and you. Watch 64.
Lamar Miller. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
They'll run it again with Miller. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go.
We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Miller will get it. He has been busy today. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down. Here's Watson. Setting up the screen for Miller. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. So on 4th down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Strip that ball.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. This one complete to Lacey. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 1st down Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. From the gun, Stafford. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with him.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. The throw over the middle, taken in.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
On third down, Johnson. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's fourth down. Now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on fourth down, and they're going to go for it. They run. It's Johnson. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. First down, Lions on a pickup of 13. Remember, that was fourth and a full 2 yards. There's a big difference between that and fourth and maybe 6 inches or a yard.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because when it's that 6 inches, you just fall forward and you pick it up, right? You just go quarterback sneak. But having to move bodies, that means you actually have to execute because they know what you're going to do. How are you going to make the right play call and get everyone into the right spot and win at the line of scrimmage? That's what they did there.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Stafford now. 5 straight completions here in this second half. First and 10. Operating from the gun. Stafford. Open man is Galladay, complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit.
First down. First and 10 at the 12-yard line.
Stafford now 11 of 16 through the air. It's first and 10. From the gun, Stafford. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. J.J. Watt in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year. We're on to the fourth here on Thanksgiving Day. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. And he'll get this down only to the 18. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a third down and long.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
The Lions on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. Throwing is Stafford. And that is incomplete. Another good drive, Charles, but it looks like another that might end in a field goal try.
They've made some nice plays. They've given themselves opportunities, but as you noted, another field goal attempt coming up. And that's not how they want to end drives. They've got to figure out what's the final touch that they need to push it across the goal line.
Yeah, still yet to find the end zone. And the 13-year man puts it through. And a second field goal here gets him back within 11 now. It's 17-6. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, Parker, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
No gain on the play there, 2nd down. Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Now it's Watson. Escaping the pressure right. And the catch made by Hopkins. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. They give him a gain of 38. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Miller. The UCLA product, Kenny Young, had the tackle. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 7.
Check 26, check 26.
A shotgun snap for Watson. He's got the hook up to Miller. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
How about that shuffle pass? Or if you want to call it the shovel pass, that's fine too. That's one of those plays that you can take a little bit of risk there because you're trying to throw the ball into the middle of the field where a lot of big bodies lurk, and they can knock it away, pick it off, but they were able to execute it successfully on that play.
So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
The Lions take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
Looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. On 2nd and 10, Stafford. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. That's to his running back, Kerryon Johnson.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Stafford. He'll get this one to Galladay. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. It's a gain of 34.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. The big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Jabal Sheard able to record his 5th sack of the season.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. After the sack on first down, Stafford, and that's complete to Adams. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down. The Lions on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 10. Stafford to the right and complete to Galladay. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score. On 1st and goal, Washington. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. A pickup of 4 on first down. It'll be 2nd and goal. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Here's Stafford. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
That's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. You got to think this is likely 4-down territory anyway, but they'll try to punch it in now on 3rd and goal. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hockenson. Able to hold him to just 2 yards, and now it's 4th and goal. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. They'll run with a big man. This is Adams. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Josh Adams, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are back within a single score.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed. But if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
On first down, it's Miller, and a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They got to feel pretty good about that one.
Again, it's Miller. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee, and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And I tell you, this was a fun one. Just a close game. Nothing comes easy in this league, as you know. They had to work for that victory.
I've got to go back to what you just said. Nothing comes easy in this league. How many times have we talked to coaches prior to a game and assessed, you know, the strengths, the weaknesses, the whole deal? Even in games when one coach was a decided favorite, what do they always say to us? But you do know this is really a 7-point league. 7 points either way usually decides a ball game. We had exactly that in this one.
And not only that, but this is a gutsy road victory, one they can hang their hat on. So for the Texans, their playoff chances take an uptick as they move to 7-4. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for the Lions, it's a loss that sets them back in their playoff push as they fall to 6-5. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Jaguars in Jacksonville. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL.
Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay, all my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay, so when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gonna want revenge, somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros, left pocket got pound. Somebody gonna want revenge, somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. Step back, let me get some room. Congrats every time I'm through. Same packet, nobody knew, so I never get confused. Hotel get a bird's eye view, hotel get a waiting room. Read a magazine while you wait for me, baby, I'll be done so soon. Phone gotta be off, each store got locks, I got some trusted shoes. 10K on the countertop, don't look so shocked, it's nothing new. Death comes in threes, wins come in twos, cash comes in ones. Throw it up, celebrate some news. I do a good job, pull up and pop out and pull out. Head on and hood on, pedal to metal. When I put my foot on, I got to put on. I got a bad one, they wanna keep me, oh that's a good one. Pockets are dense, I think my bread is hard as a crouton. Receipts in my pocket don't come with a coupon. Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay, all my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay, so when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gonna want revenge, somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros, left pocket got pound. Somebody gonna want revenge, somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. Touchdown, 8th floor, come down, hotel, lobby. Receptionist, what now? 11 a.m., check out. Might give her one foul, just to tell her it's one now. How come? I need rest, no recess in my schedule. Mama used to serve vegetables, now half the meals got tentacles. Half the Emirates seen a reservation and half my money goes straight to taxes. But I don't trip about it, that's what happens when you got dreams closer than a mansion. Plus all your boys got expensive habits. Go. I know what they're thinking, they don't even gotta say it. Nope. They thinking they just made it. I know how to make everybody feel famous. I don't gotta work no day shift. I don't gotta split no payment. I don't gotta answer questions. And I don't need you to okay it. Okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay, all my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay, so when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gonna want revenge, somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros, left pocket got pound. Somebody gonna want revenge, somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. They took it to 10.
like I'm giving Madden blues. And if you choose to run up on me, you gon' get laid out so fast. Cause I can get you with the run or I can hit you with the pass. I can't be touched and I can't be schemed. Roll you when I'm in a mud league. 2-0, 2-0, Madden time on you suckers. Y'all can't get close, so why you wanna touch us? Cause my team is so hard, my team is legit. Madden 20, Snoop Dogg is, now get it. Big Snoop Dogg, it's in the game.
Going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm going big, going big. Everywhere I go, they know the click. Way too many wins, they know the shit. They was hating, know they sick, acting like they know me. Cause I'm
P-P-P-Love, time to bring the bass back.
swear I'm going big like a lineman. She want bring the limes in. She wanna pull up to the crib, we can't dine in. Up right away, couldn't even get a vine in. Straight with the money, we aligned in. Tell me how they broke, tryna chime in. Jesus watching over, he in diamonds. He the only reason why do not get violent. Ay, cause he gave me patience. Ay, swear it don't make sense.